Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is AdorN Copnell and welcome to today's video where we're going to discuss what I think is the easiest tips that you guys can use to get nuclears in Black Ops 3. Now personally, I think these tips are really good. Some of them might be a bit obvious, some might not, so without further ado, let's just fucking jump straight into it. So the first tip I recommend is to use a gun which is considered overpowered at a point in a certain patch. Now, for me, I feel like the most overpowered weapon in my eyes is either the Kuda or the Man of War. I currently haven't unlocked the Man of War in this prestige, but in my previous prestige, I unlocked it, and oh my fucking god, does it shred when you've got rapid fire on it. I think, like, yeah, so just use like a gun where in a certain patch throughout this game's life cycle, if you can find the gun that's the most overpowered at a certain patch, that is going to help you. Even if you don't find it easy to use, try and get used to it, because it will help you in the long run. And I'd suggest if you're using something like an SMG or an assault rifle, which is obviously what all the OP weapons are going to be, you're obviously going to need maybe quick draw so you can get in there quicker. You're going to need possibly fast mags or grip, depending on how bad the recoil is or how fast the gun fires. Maybe fast mags, it's up to you. I usually recommend having classes with no lethals or tacticals or secondaries, and using as many attachments and perks as possible. Now, obviously, the perks I think would be the best for when you're going for a nuclear is going to be Afterburner, so you can get out of the way quicker. You got fast hands, so you can aim in a lot quicker, so you'll win more gunfights. Hardwired, so if I quickly show you guys hardwired, you're immune to counter UAVs, power cores, EMPs, smoke screens. You won't trigger trip mine, shock charges or C4s, and you'll reduce your digital imprint against tracker and sixth sense. Now that basically hides you from every fucking thing in the game or anything that can fuck you up. So I feel that's a very good perk to use. And then you've obviously got Tac Mask, because we're in game modes like Domination. If you're going for a nuclear there, people are going to chuck flashbangs at you so much. And shock charges, concussions, all this sort. They're going to chuck them at you 24/7. And it's great to have Tac Mask, because they will always think that they've got you. If you're near a teammate and they throw a concussion, the hit marker shows them, and it doesn't show the Tac Mask underneath the hit marker. So they're going to run in there thinking they've got you, and you're completely fine, and you can just shred them, and they're going to wonder what the fuck happened. Now, my second tip is going to be Specialist. Now, obviously, if you're going to go for a nuclear, you might as well use Kinetic Armor, because Kinetic Armor is basically whenever you activate it, it deflects enemy bullets, and right, so as it says here, reactive armor that deflects enemy bullets away from the body. Still vulnerable to headshots and non-bullet damage while active. So you can still get fucked by like explosives and headshots, but if not, most people will shoot at the chest. You'll most likely get shot in the chest when you're playing Call of Duty, so the kinetic armor is very helpful, because it helps you if you go into an area with maybe 3 or 4 enemies and you can shred more of them down than usual. For my third tip is going to be score streaks. I would recommend the best score streaks to use would be UAV, counter UAV, and hater. Now, obviously, you guys don't have to use that, but I'd say it's the best. Counter UAV is probably the least important, but you definitely need the hater, because that is just going to help you when it comes to trying to find the enemies without them like fucking you up first. And if you was to swap out the counter UAV, I'd probably recommend either power core or something else, maybe like a Wraith or something, just to get a few kills off your back while you're trying to kill the others, or maybe even Cerberus, because you can use that to get people out of the way. Now, those are basically the tips I reckon is what's going to help you most. Obviously you're going to need to use your weapon. You got to be, it's obviously you're going to need some sort of skill at Call of Duty. You can't just be absolutely terrible and expect to get a nuclear. Obviously a lot of people who do get nuclears are relatively good at the game. They're like average or above. So those are basically my best tips that I think is going to help you to get a nuclear. If you enjoyed today's video and you took any tips from it and you thought anything helped, make sure you give me a like. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Drop in the comments what you want to see next, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.